Hello, good evening, all. Today we are going to have a very quick and a clear view about digital transformation. We have been hearing this as a big buzzword across everywhere. But what actually is a digital transformation? We will have a very quick view to the exact view of what a digital transformation means. Digital transformation is something that is going to impact each and everyone. Typically, any business is there basically for four major areas of focus. What are my profits? How do I improve my efficiency? What will be my customer experience? How do I satisfy my customers? And what is that I am going to return back to my investors in terms of the value that it creates back to the investors. This is basically, I have broken it up as a hope and a fear. Much of the businesses, these are the primary four objectives. There are many different kinds of parameters that comes to different businesses. However, these four, according to me, are the topmost items: profits, efficiency, customer experience, and the investor valuation. These are the four most important things for any business to get into it. And we have seen historically that any business that is not scaled up or not changed to the realities of the transformations that are happening in the real world, they have perished. We have seen very big organizations who have been promising 7 years back, 8 years back, has completely perished back. That is happening because there are certain parameters that the organizations have not taken into consideration. But before we actually go into understanding about transformation, why are we calling it as digital transformation? Why it is not a digital change? Let's look it out. A change is something that actually fixes the past. When we say fixes the past, it is that a business is in a current, is in some state. We identified a problem. What we do, we go there, work on the problem, fix something, and then make it work. That is a change. So usually in a change, what happens is it changes the status quo. It fixes something. It improves a small activity, and then it goes to the next stage. A few of the best examples are like an ERP migration that might have happened, a security upgrades that have been implemented into the systems, or a business entering a new vertical. These are a few examples of the changes that has happened. However, when we look into the transformation, it changes the view. Transformation is the vision of the future. A change, we are fixing the current one, but a transformation means it is beyond a change, and the transformation happens only and only if you have a vision. The transformation focuses on vision. How do we create it, and what will be the future new wanted position, unlike the change? In transformations, there are impacts on the business models. Business model, what are the customer segments we work? What is the revenue models we have? What are the distribution channels we have? What is the profitabilities and all other things that we are going to have? All those are a part of business models. The transformations, when we focus and when we start looking into transformations, it does impact a business model. It does impact user experiences, how the user navigates to it. How do we elevate the satisfaction of the users? How do we identify the emotions of the users? How do we make sure that the users come back to it, which means that the lifetime value of the customers which we have are optimally increased. So these are all the part of the transformation, because which means that the user experience plays an extremely vital role. And then we have predictive models which look into what sort of the failures that are going to happen by using either AI, machine language, and machine learnings and all other things. And then the business process. Many of the organizations usually doesn't have a business process, or it's a business process which is not entirely to the level of managing the entire spectrum of the workflow that is happening it up. Many of the organizations have a predictable behavior but not a business process. A predictable behavior means that a set of people work in an, what do you call, as a cohesive way, which is identified as a predictable behavior, which means that something happens and they always work in that particular flow. It might not be the business process that has been identified to be optimal, but it is something that they usually flow with that particular workflow into the business management of the operations. That is what we call, actually call as a predictive business process, because they're always using the same flow. So this is what usually happens. The transformation is something that is much beyond the change. It impacts the way we work. So when we start using the word transformation, that is precisely the reason why we don't use the word as a digital change. It is called as a digital transformation because it transforms the way you think. When we start looking into let us look at a very small example. A typical example that we have, I'm showing it here, is from a typical manufacturing organization. At some point of time, they are having clipboards to put up the activities there. They have stack lights, they have memos. We have specific telecom infrastructures there, and there are meetings happening in the meeting rooms. Then different equipments getting started by pushing the push buttons, and we have phone calls, bell, and daily. But these are specific activities. But what happens in a digital transformation in the future state is the clipboards are entirely moving out to the emails and SMS. Stack lights will move to notifications. The memos which we used to have earlier are nothing now, are the digital commands, or the MES, the manufacturing execution systems. They will take it up over the existing state and then start monitoring what are the changes that is happening, and then they start putting out the comments and the information or the data or the behavior of the things in the MES. That is what usually based on the historian that is there. And the telecom is actually replaced by web page. And sometimes if we find that there is a problem in an equipment or something like that, a work order will be automatically created and the work orders are addressed back. And the meetings are now virtual, move to Zoom, Slack, and push buttons. We today have a common control rooms, MES, the what you call as manufacturing execution systems. They are taking it forward with a set of intelligence built into it to start something, to stop something based on the different parameters that are going to happen. And we all will, and obviously then at the end we have SCADA and the PLC based integrations. We have phone calls which are now replaced with video messaging, and the bell and the daily reports. Bells is something that if something happens, usually a bell is hanged up. But today we have continuous observations based on the data that is happening out. So it is a real-time analytics that is going to happen, and that the real-time analytics that is going to respond to all the people out. And the daily reports is now real time. That means whatever is the state is known now, right now. You don't need to wait till the end of the day to generate the daily reports and then reconcile what has happened and then sitting up, going around the plant or the mission or the offices to see what is the end of the day status. It's no longer required. This is basically the transformation that usually happens And when a business achieves this is a digital transformation. Digital transformation does require technology. It is not digitization. Digitization is still a big piece of work. Digitization is converting whatever is there from analog to digital records. Maybe you have put the records in an Excel sheet or Google Sheets or a CRM or an SAP or wherever it is. It is still an analog to a digital. But the real the real case of digital transformation happens in this way. The methodology, the way of work has moved out into the future state. If you look into a typical tendency in the market, in the world, in the real-time scenario, we can't find a person without a mobile phone today. It's very difficult to find a person who is not using either an SMS or a WhatsApp, or someone who doesn't use an internet. It's extremely difficult. And that is where the 90% of the users, the individuals, they are digitally aware. In their individual lives, they are transformed digitally. However, when it comes to the business, it is still not, because the challenges are different, because there is a set of things that has to be implemented, and there are a set of things that has to be made to work. At this particular point of time, it is still assumed that about a very, very liberal estimate is that 15 to 20% of the businesses are digitally transformed. And minded, this is a very, very liberal assessment, but however, it might be actually less. So when people have transformed digitally, what is the challenges that is actually stopping the business to transform back into digital? They will be having a lot of constraints, the change management constraints, the acceptance constraints, or maybe there is a lot of improper guidance. They have the visions, the business have the vision, but they usually get stuck in an area. They don't know how to proceed. That is where it is important for us to make it up. Here is what I'm looking at. Digital transformation is not a technology, it is not a software, it's a process, it's a mindset. How I define is digital transformation is a strategy. It's a strategy, it's a continuous strategy that has to be built, implemented, and followed. It by transforming the way the business is operated. It's a strategy that helps transforming the way the business is operated. That is what is a digital transformation. And when does it start? It starts when the business accepts that it has a problem. When the business admits that there is a problem, then it starts going to the next level of how to solve the problem, what is the vision, what are the OKRs, what are the KPIs, where we have to reach, and all of the stuff are going to come. But digital transformation is basically a strategy for transforming the way business is operated. What is the end result? The end result of a digitally transformed business is it is a connected business. Whatever I have people, I have sensors, I have smart systems, I have SAP, Oracle, CRM, databases, data, everything. All those are connected. They are integrated. When we say that they are integrated, it does mean that the data is integrated. Something I have written in some Excel sheet somewhere, I have to come out and then import it, or there is some other system which is there used in some plant location and the data doesn't happen. You have a pen drive to make it up, or you have end of the day data transfer that is happening. It doesn't work out like that. And that is an integrated means we have the complete system integrated into a single unified namespace. A single unified namespace. The third one is the informed real time. As I said that we don't need to have something that is batch updates, end of the day, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock. No, it is informed real time. So whatever is happening everywhere, it works on the real time data. And whatever we know, it is a real time data. Any staff that is who's working up, he has the real time data with him. Fourth one is the current state. So what is the current state? What I mean by a current state here is any actor, any stakeholder of the business, whatever is the division, maybe in operations or IT or finance or the senior leadership team, whoever are working on this particular platform, they know the current state. And everyone knows the exact current state without any deviation on the interpretation of that particular state. It is real time, uniform across all the stakeholders. That is what is the current state. The next one is the future state. The future state says the exactly as the current state, but it gives the exact definition of how the future is going to be. What happens tomorrow? What happens day after tomorrow? That is the future state. How, what is the revenue I have to get next week, next month? What are the challenges I'm going to be face next month? Everything. That is the future state. And again, it is having the same meaning, the same definition, and the same information across all the stakeholders. Sixth one, predict the failures. Obviously, when we have a unified namespace here, we have integrated everything, every data, and we have started analyzing the data, having the right kind of current state and future states, everything in place. The next one is to have the prediction of the failures. When is my machine is will go down, or when is my probable failure of accounts receivable might happen? What is the method that is going to happen in the working capital management? Or there may be some warehouse issues where the supply chain management might have broken out, and supply chain management getting broken out with respect to the raw material that is being received for the production system is going to impact it. So this is actually predicting the failures. We will have a few algorithms of AI, machine learning, everything here, which predicts the failures, which predicts the constraints that is going to happen, when it is going to happen, what is the intensity, and what is the kind of risk that is going to make. That is what happens in predict the failures. Next one, automated recommendations. And obviously, when we have predicted the failure based on the data, based on the intelligence that is coming out, based on the patterns that is happening within the organizational data, the system is also going to give the recommendations on managing the risk, the recommendations to solve the problem. It comes up with a set of recommendations with different parameters, with different um, risk and reward ratio that happens for each recommendation that will be in place. And the fifth one is the execution, and this is where the people will come. When we look at the execution with all the recommendations in place, we look at the execution. The people will come, they look at the data, they start viewing everything, they pick up the data, they look at the state, and they focus on execution. Again, when they're looking at execution, they're again tampering with the data. When they're looking at the data, they are looking at a unified namespace. They are not picking up data from different disparate sources. They are picking up the data from the unified namespace, which speaks the common language. And when all the stakeholders have the execution capability, they have the visualization, they have the access to the unified data with the same language, that will lead to innovation. And when the digitally transformed business, when it achieves the level of innovation, we can actually say this particular business has succeeded in getting transformed digitally. So, entirely, the digital transformation is nothing but a strategy where the business reaches a state of connected, integrated, informed real time. Current state is managed, future state is managed, where failures are predicted, where the systems comes out with automated recommendations, executions, and above all, it encourages, it captures, encourages innovation. That is what is a digital transformation. Business inventory is something which actually starts looking into the legacy system. What is the data I have? What is the software I have? How it is stored? Where it is stored? What is the business process? How is the information flow happens from from one department to another? How is the financial flow happens? How is the sales happening? How is the finance happening? How is the customer service happening? What is the data? All those are a part of business inventory. So what we focus here is to identify the steps what are there in the business inventory. All those will be identified as part of business inventory. Second one is the inventory intelligence. So whatever we have captured as a part of business inventory, we pick up the smart values in that. The smart values might not be a sensors, not just the IoT systems or the smart systems, but even the data has a lot of meaning. So we pick up all the smart definitions that are there within the inventory intelligence, which leads to the third step where we connect all the intelligence so that it starts giving a good sentence. So we capture the words, we look at the intelligence, and then when we connect the words, it becomes a meaningful sentence. That is where the connect intelligence is going to come. And the fourth one will be the unified namespace. The unified namespace we can actually call as a data lake, where the data from different sources are brought into a single location, and the digital transformation or the analytics or everything are usually derived from the unified namespace, not from the different source systems. It is brought from the unified namespace. And once we have it in the unified namespace, that is where the real transformation starts, where the data is picked up, it has been put into the system, it has been put into the process, it has been present, it has been taken to the stakeholders, a lot of definitions, brainstorming, implementations, executions, and all of things will happen based on the unified namespace. That leads to have enough trial and error. There will be enough lessons that have been learned, and once the lessons have been learned, it goes to the next level. The present, the learn, and the expand. These are the traces that happens once the unified namespace has been built, and this is iterative. This is iterative. Major chunk of work happens here, and major time, major change management procedures, everything actually comes in this iteration model. The business inventory intelligence is something that happens at the starting of the project. It takes a good amount of time, but it is usually one major work. And whatever happens is small things that might have happened to plug in few of the items. But this inventory and inventory intelligence is usually happens in a one single point of time. And connect intelligence and unified namespace does have impact based on the learnings, but it is comparatively less, but when compared to the business inventory and inventory intelligence. This is where we actually start into the transformation process, and this is something that is going to impact every stakeholder of the organization. So friends, this is digital transformation. This is what I wanted to tell you on how the digital transformation looks. Going forward, I'm going to put you a set of videos that focuses on addressing different areas of digital transformation. Please tune up for more videos, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any comments or if you need any recommendations or any inputs that you require about digital transformation, please put onto the comments, and then I will get back to you. Thank you.